As the sun set, the air carried the scent of blooming jasmine around the serene Bodhi tree. Buddha sat in stillness, his gaze soft yet piercing, like moonlight illuminating the night. "Tell me," Buddha said, breaking the silence, "what is the essence of life as you see it?" The disciples, seated around him, looked at one another in thoughtful contemplation. "Master," Ananda spoke, his voice trembling slightly, "life seems fleeting, like a dream that dissolves upon waking." Buddha nodded, his expression unchanging yet deeply understanding. "Indeed, life is impermanent, like dew vanishing as sunlight touches it." A soft murmur of agreement rippled through the gathering, the disciples leaning forward to catch every word. This impermanence is not a curse but a truth that reveals the interconnectedness of all existence. He gestured toward the horizon where the setting sun painted the sky with hues of amber and crimson. "Observe the sun. It descends, not to disappear, but to rise again in another place." A young disciple raised his hand, his curiosity evident. "Master, how does impermanence guide us in living a meaningful life?" Buddha smiled, his eyes resting kindly on the young man. "By understanding impermanence, we cherish the present moment without clinging to it," he continued, his voice carrying the weight of centuries of wisdom. "Science, though it seeks constancy, unveils the same truth. Stars are born, they shine, and they collapse into nothingness." A child, no older than 8 summers, approached with a small seed in her palm. "Master," she asked, "why does my seed not grow?" The gathering shifted their focus to the child, curious about the Buddha's response. Buddha extended his hand, beckoning the child closer. "It is because your seed waits for its conditions. Life emerges not from isolation but through causes and conditions." He turned his gaze to the disciples, his voice calm yet profound. "This is dependent origination, the principle that nothing arises independently." He held the seed between his fingers, letting the sunlight dance upon its smooth surface. Soil, water, sunlight, these must unite for the seed to awaken its potential. A breeze rustled the leaves above, carrying the Buddha's words to every ear present. Science mirrors this understanding in ecosystems and molecular interactions. All things are bound in a web of interdependence. Ananda's brows furrowed as he pondered the words, his mind alight with questions. "Master, if all is interdependent, does it mean nothing is truly ours?" Buddha regarded him with a knowing gaze, the corners of his lips lifting slightly. "Indeed, Ananda, ownership is an illusion, a grasping for permanence in an impermanent world." He gestured to a flower growing at the edge of their circle, its petals vibrant and alive. "This flower thrives not through its own will but through the sun, the rain, and the earth." The disciples nodded, their understanding deepening with each word. A scholar among them raised his voice. "Master, does this mean we are powerless, merely carried by the flow of conditions?" Buddha shook his head, the gesture slow and deliberate. "No, for while we cannot control all conditions, we can cultivate those that lead to wisdom and compassion." He pointed to the seed in the child's hand, its potential still dormant. "Just as you choose fertile soil for this seed, you choose thoughts and actions that shape your life." His words hung in the air, as tangible as the ground beneath them. "Science calls this cause and effect. I call it karma." A bird chirped, its song weaving into the fabric of the evening. Buddha's voice softened but did not lose its clarity. "Karma is not fate, as some believe, but the natural result of intentional actions." He stood, his movement fluid like water, and walked to the edge of the gathering. The disciples followed his gaze toward the sky where stars began to emerge. "Each star you see is a beacon of impermanence, its light reaching us across unimaginable distances." He continued, his hand outstretched as if to touch the stars. "Science reveals that these stars, though distant, are made of the same elements as you and I. A disciple whispered, his voice barely audible. We are stardust. Buddha turned to him, his eyes glowing like the very stars above. Yes, and this truth binds us to the cosmos. Impermanence is the thread that connects us all. The child, still clutching her seed, looked up at the Buddha. Master, will my seed grow someday? Buddha knelt beside her, his presence as gentle as the moonlight. Yes, little one, when the conditions are right, your seed will grow. He placed his hand over hers, enveloping the seed in warmth. And when it does, let it remind you of life's fleeting beauty and interconnected nature. The child smiled, her face glowing with newfound understanding. The disciples bowed their heads, their hearts swelling with gratitude. Buddha's words had planted seeds of wisdom within them, seeds that would grow with time and reflection. The evening deepened, stars now scattered like jewels across the velvet sky. The gathering disbanded, each disciple carrying the Buddha's teachings like a flame illuminating their path. Ananda lingered, his thoughts churning with questions yet to be voiced. Buddha placed a hand on Ananda's shoulder, his touch grounding and reassuring. Do not seek all answers at once, Ananda. Wisdom unfolds like the petals of a lotus, slowly and with patience. With those parting words, Buddha returned to his place beneath the Bodhi tree. The night embraced the world, its silence filled with the echoes of his timeless teachings. Another day, another lesson unfolded as Buddha walked beside his disciples near a serene lake reflecting the morning sky. The surface mirrored the clouds, shifting with the gentle breeze, a perfect metaphor for the impermanence of all things. Look closely, Buddha said, his voice calm and deliberate. What does this lake reveal to you? The disciples stared at the water, each searching for meaning within its shifting depths. Master, Ananda began, the lake shows my reflection, yet it is not truly me. It changes as I move. Buddha nodded, his expression a blend of compassion and approval. Exactly, Ananda. The lake reflects but it does not define. Such is the nature of the mind. He crouched by the water's edge, letting his fingers trace ripples that spread outward. The mind, like this water, is ever-changing, mirroring thoughts, emotions, and perceptions without being fixed. A fisherman approached, holding his net filled with wriggling fish. Master, he asked, how can I calm the waters of my troubled mind? Buddha looked at him, his gaze as steady as the earth beneath. Release your grasp, and the waters will settle on their own. The fisherman hesitated, puzzled by the simplicity of the answer. But Master, what of the ripples already set in motion? Buddha smiled gently, his voice like the rustling of leaves. Ripples fade with time, my friend. If you cease to disturb the surface. The disciples watched, their hearts stirred by the profound simplicity of Buddha's words. Ananda ventured another question, his curiosity insatiable. Master, if the mind is like water, how can we control its flow? Buddha gestured toward the flowing stream feeding into the lake. You cannot control the stream, Ananda, but you can guide it with the channels you create. A young scholar among the disciples stepped forward, intrigued by the metaphor. Master, are these channels the habits we form and the thoughts we entertain? Buddha's smile widened, his eyes twinkling with approval. Yes, and science now speaks of this truth as neuroplasticity, the reshaping of the brain through experience. The group murmured in wonder, the connection between ancient wisdom and modern science filling them with awe. Master, the scholar continued, how can thoughts reshape the world around us? Buddha picked up a small pebble and tossed it into the lake. Watch the ripples. This is how a single thought, intention, or action influences the web of existence. The ripples spread outward, touching every part of the water's surface, their energy palpable. Each ripple, though small, carries the power to shape conditions far beyond its origin, Buddha explained. A bird called from a nearby tree, its song blending with the sounds of the flowing stream. Buddha turned to the disciples, his voice steady but tinged with warmth. The mind, when still, mirrors the world as it is, free of distortion or illusion. He motioned toward the fisherman, who now sat by the water's edge, his net set aside. When troubled waters settle, clarity emerges, revealing truths hidden beneath the surface. A child sitting quietly at the back of the group finally spoke. Master, what if the mind never stops rippling? Can it still find peace? Buddha walked to her, his steps deliberate and unhurried, his presence both calming and commanding. Even in motion, the mind can reflect the sky without losing its essence. Acceptance is the key. He knelt beside her, his hand gently brushing a strand of hair from her face. Peace is not the absence of motion but the harmony within it. The child smiled, her young heart touched by the profound simplicity of his words. The scholar pondered, his brows furrowed with thought. Master, can mindfulness truly change the ripples of the mind and the world around us? Buddha stood and gestured toward the horizon, where mountains framed the distant skyline. Mindfulness is the stone you choose to cast or hold. It shapes not only your ripples but those of others. The disciples exchanged glances, their understanding deepened by the clarity of his teaching. But Master, Ananda interjected, how do we know which stones to cast and which to release? Buddha's eyes softened, his voice imbued with patient wisdom. Compassion and wisdom are your guides. When they lead, your ripples will bring harmony, not discord. A sudden gust of wind rippled the lake, momentarily obscuring the reflections upon its surface. Buddha raised his hand, pointing to the disturbance. Even the wind, unbidden, cannot erase the lake's capacity to reflect. So too is the nature of your mind. As the wind settled, the water's surface returned to its calm state, the reflections clear once more. Practice mindfulness, Buddha urged, and you will see the world as it truly is, not as your fears shape it. The fisherman, now enlightened, stood and bowed deeply. Thank you, Master. I will let go of my grasp and trust the waters to settle. Buddha nodded, his blessing as silent as the stars that would soon appear in the evening sky. The disciples rose, their hearts heavy with gratitude and their minds alive with new insights. Ananda lingered, his gaze fixed on the lake, its stillness both a comfort and a challenge. Master, he asked softly, will my mind ever be as still as this water? Buddha placed a hand on Ananda's shoulder, his touch grounding and reassuring. Stillness is not perfection, Ananda. It is the awareness that you are part of the ripples, not apart from them. With those final words, Buddha walked toward the horizon, his silhouette merging with the landscape. The disciples followed, their footsteps light yet purposeful, the weight of his teachings guiding each step. The lake remained, a silent witness to the eternal truths shared by its waters and the enlightened one beside it. Another day, another journey unfolded as Buddha prepared his disciples for a profound teaching amidst the tranquility of the forest. The gentle rustling of leaves created a soothing rhythm, nature's silent hymn to impermanence and interconnectedness. As the disciples gathered under the canopy of ancient trees, Buddha's serene presence radiated calm. Today, he began, we shall contemplate the eternal flame of existence. Ananda's brow furrowed, his curiosity ignited by the Master's enigmatic words. Buddha held up an oil lamp, its small flame flickering yet steadfast against the gentle breeze. What sustains this flame? He asked. Ananda stepped forward, his voice steady yet uncertain. Master, the flame endures because the wick draws oil to feed it. Buddha nodded, his gaze warm yet piercing. Indeed, Ananda. And what happens when the oil is depleted? Ananda hesitated before answering. his voice tinged with melancholy. "The flame will extinguish, Master, leaving only darkness behind. The flame's journey mirrors the cycle of samsara," Buddha explained, his voice imbued with profound clarity. "Birth, life, death, and rebirth are as natural as the lamp's light." A disciple seated at the edge of the circle raised her hand timidly. "Master, if the flame extinguishes, does its essence vanish completely?" Buddha placed the lamp gently on the ground, the flame casting fleeting shadows. "Energy does not vanish, it transforms. So it is with life." He gestured toward the surrounding forest, its vibrant greenery a testament to the cycle of creation. "The atoms within your body once resided within stars. When you dissolve, you return to the greater whole." A young monk, his face alight with youthful curiosity, asked, "Master, does this mean we are eternal, even as individuals fade?" Buddha smiled, his eyes reflecting the moonlight filtering through the trees. "You are eternal, yet not as individuals. Life is the eternal flame, ever transforming, never ceasing." He reached for a nearby leaf, its vivid green fading to golden edges. "This leaf, though it falls, nourishes the soil, giving life to new forms." The disciples listened intently, their hearts and minds captivated by the Master's wisdom. A scholar among them, driven by a thirst for understanding, spoke, "Master, science teaches conservation of energy. Is this principle aligned with your teachings?" Buddha's gaze rested on the scholar, his expression a balance of approval and patience. "Science uncovers the same truths I share. That energy flows unbroken through forms." Buddha lifted the lamp again, its light steady despite the wind. "This flame shares its nature with the stars, the sun, and even the spark within your hearts." He looked to the disciples, their faces illuminated by the flickering light, each reflecting different shades of understanding. A child sitting near the Master reached out toward the lamp. "Master, why does the flame dance even though it is still?" Buddha knelt, his presence tender and reassuring. "The flame dances because it is alive, responding to the breath of existence." He placed his hand on the child's shoulder, grounding her youthful wonder. "Your life, too, dances. It is never static, always in motion, always connected." The child smiled, her small hand retreating as she absorbed the lesson. The forest grew quieter, the evening deepening, stars beginning to emerge like scattered jewels. Buddha's voice resonated softly, a perfect harmony with the stillness. "Life's flame is not bound by one lamp alone. It is passed on, transforming yet persisting." Ananda, ever the seeker, asked, "Master, how do we ensure the flame we pass on brings light and not darkness?" Buddha closed his eyes briefly, his silence as meaningful as his words. "Cultivate wisdom and compassion. They are the oil that feeds the flame, ensuring its light guides and does not harm." The disciples sat in contemplative silence, the weight of the teaching sinking into their hearts. Buddha set the lamp down, its flame steady and unwavering. "Each of you carries a lamp within, a flame born of countless causes and conditions." He turned to the scholar once more, his tone gentle yet insistent. "Science studies the mechanisms, spirituality reveals the meaning. Together, they guide us toward understanding." The scholar nodded, his respect for the Master deepening. Buddha gestured toward the sky, the stars now fully visible, their light ancient yet immediate. "These stars, though distant, share their light across the universe, connecting us to a past beyond comprehension." He paused, allowing the disciples to absorb the vastness of his words. A bird called out, its song breaking the stillness, a reminder of life's ongoing melody. Buddha smiled, his expression serene. "The bird sings not for itself alone, but for the harmony it creates within the whole." An elder disciple, his voice seasoned with years of reflection, asked, "Master, how do we maintain harmony when the flame within us falters?" Buddha's gaze softened, his answer as soothing as a lullaby. "Tend to your flame with care. Even when it dims, it draws strength from the interconnected web of life." He reached out, his hand motioning toward the gathered group. "Together, your flames create a brighter light, illuminating paths for others." The disciples nodded, their unity strengthened by the Master's wisdom. The moon rose higher, its light casting gentle shadows, a silent companion to the lamp's flame. Buddha stood, his presence as steady as the earth beneath their feet. "Remember, the flame you tend is not yours alone. It is a gift from existence, to be shared." The disciples bowed deeply, their reverence for the Master unspoken yet palpable. Buddha's teachings had kindled within them a deeper understanding of life's eternal dance. Ananda lingered, as was his custom, his eyes reflecting both awe and inquiry. "Master," Ananda began, his voice steady yet tinged with vulnerability, "will the eternal flame ever cease to burn?" Buddha placed a hand on his shoulder, his touch as reassuring as his gaze. "The flame changes forms, Ananda, but it never ceases. It is the essence of existence itself." With those words, Buddha turned toward the horizon, his silhouette merging with the tranquil night. The disciples followed, their hearts and minds alight with the truths they had received. The forest stood as a silent witness, its trees swaying gently, echoing the teachings shared beneath their ancient canopy. He gestured toward the valley below and added, "Even the deepest valleys once resisted the rivers that shaped them. Yet they are now connected." The disciples felt a profound sense of understanding, their hearts opening to the possibilities of connection and shared existence. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.